Hey everyone, it's me, Dirty Honey. So today I was thinking about numbers and life and math. Basically, numbers are kind of like the language of the universe. If you talk to a scientist or fucking any kind of space people, math and numbers are super fucking important. They don't really like language. You can lie. You can tell a lie with the language. When you use numbers, they can't really lie unless they were improperly used or something. But I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, numbers are super fucking important, and some people believe that the universal code is written in numbers. And so math is the language of numbers and pretty much uses numbers and letters sometimes as unknowns to determine what the fuck is going on with anything. So if you want to figure something out, using math is typically going to be a very useful tool in doing that. And so anyways, my point of this is, or what I was thinking about that is kind of totally fucking crazy, is that if life itself is this giant fucking equation that is readable, kind of like each one of us is our own little equation within the big equation. And so kind of like we're a math problem, and anything that's put into us, or if we need to figure something out, we are that equation that gives a specific type of an answer. It's a complicated equation, okay? But this illusion of free will is potentially dictated by our personal fingerprint equation or whatever that makes us a unique fit into God or the life equation. And so I don't know if you're following me on this. It's kind of a little trippy, but if we were all an equation that produced like life is written in this complex equation, right? And we are a portion of that equation with a function in the program of life. And so, and if you can read each person's equation, or there might be an overlying equation too that kind of predicates what particular individuals' equations might be. But as a child is born, they are a product of the previous equation. And so that answer to, let's say I'm an equation and I have a child, that child is a portion of my equation. It's an extension of it. And so it's predicted as well in the big picture, because in life, in this theory, or in whatever, there's a beginning and there's an end. And if that is set in stone, and you are able to look at the beginning and the end as God or something, you would potentially be able to backtrack from the end to the beginning and figure out why that process ended up the way it did. That's super fucking godlike complicated, but we're talking about God being able to do this shit. He can do everything, right? So if a human can look at the beginning and the end of an equation and potentially figure out what happened in between to get from one point to another, then God probably has that same ability with life, and we could be read as something that we as humans would be considering like an equation, a slew of numbers and mathematical laws or whatever, like adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying, stuff like that, and squaring and whatever, all this kind of crazy stuff. But if God wrote that language of numbers and created us using that language of numbers, then potentially the language of the universe is numbers, and we would be able to kind of figure out from back to front, or I don't know if we'd be able to figure it out, but God might be able to look at this as an equation, like we look at it as an equation, and he can see the beginning and the end. Maybe that's how he sees the end. And maybe that's how he knows what the end is, because it is basically this big, long mathematical equation that we are processing, and our portion of the equation, or our recollection or experience of the equation, is what we call life. And we're basically just acting out this equation that God wrote up, that has a trail, it's a path called time and life and existence, or whatever he says it is. And it had the beginning where it started, and then all these numbers did their things. We can't figure it out. Way too many people, way too complicated equations beyond our... We're built, we are a part of it, so it's kind of hard for us to figure out the whole fucking thing when we're just one little number in the whole equation, you know what I'm saying? But somehow Dirty Honey tapped into the language of the universe and figured it all out for you. I don't know. Anyways, I just thought that I had this little vision of that being something possible, where we are kind of like an equation where we have a function and can't really change what we're gonna do, because our function as that equation it doesn't have variance. It just does what it's supposed to do, and the other ones are doing what they're supposed to do, and everything fits perfectly, like all these gears, and it spins until whatever's going to happen happens. But that's predictable per the equation, if you could read that equation of numbers and stuff that we all are, that only God could read. And this is totally stupid. What the fuck? Anyways, you don't know what's totally not stupid? Be nice. That shit's awesome, dude. Be nice. And God likes that, I'm pretty sure. And 91.5 FM on the radio, KUSC.org on the internet is kick-ass shit. This is mathematical. Your brain starts clicking and working. If you don't know how to do any kind of math, listen to 91.5 FM on the radio, KUSC.org on the internet, and that'll make your brain more capable of doing mathematics. It's a guarantee, dude. 100%. And so don't forget to watch all the other videos too. I know. And tell your friends. Click the like button. Blah, 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 all that stuff. Okay? All right, man. We'll see you next time. Bye.